You know, that fake meeting that was around about a month ago now, that was splashed all over the tabloids, that was so secret that nobody knew anything about, but suddenly the world's media was pushed, of course, into looking at it. And then Harry and Meghan's latest communications officer, I love that phrase, don't you? What do they need a communications officer for? I mean, what have they got to communicate other than failure? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Harry's been trashed about his charitable work. She's a disaster, literally, in the kitchen. Nothing to flog, nothing ready, and just a disaster. But apparently, they need this particular person. And they love putting things out, don't they, from the office of Harry and Meghan. It's a kitchen table, love, with a Mac on, with a few books propped up. Get a grip. You let that life go. But their new communications person, Meredith Main, did her very best to come up with a new angle. Of course, an angle to taunt and upset and find very much difficulties for His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, Prince William, alongside Catherine, the Princess of Wales. When you think about it, I do feel incredibly sorry for them because they can't hit back. They can't say anything. It's just the work that can speak. But sometimes even they must want to step out of the shadows and say this. As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much for your time today, and welcome one and all brand new subscribers. It's nice to have your company, and as ever, thank you for your beautiful comments about the recent video regarding Elizabeth Taylor, the Carry On clan. Very funny story, isn't it? When you meet these people, that's what I love about this job, honestly, and it's lovely to be able to share it with you, honestly. When you meet these people and you get the stories that you don't know about, and you think, oh right, because as I say, Annette Andre was lovely, just a beautiful lady, but what I liked about her was the fact that there she was, as she said, very young, suddenly an extra in one of the world's biggest movies in Rome, all paid for, beautiful food, sets, everything. And then she turns around, she's Elizabeth Taylor, was absolutely lovely, but having a fag and literally drinking from a can of lager. She said, not the image I thought Cleopatra really should be. When you're young, you notice everything, don't you? It's a bit like this, of course. You may have seen this particular headline, which is now circulating around the world. And once again, this is the ultimate headline to try and make literally the Prince of Wales, Prince William, and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, just kind of shudder in their stilettos, really. This is simply because, Harry and Meghan are on the major decline. It's rapidly falling on a daily basis. And the problem that you've got is that Meghan can't climb out of this disaster. There is nowhere she can go from this because there is nowhere, You've used all your cards, you've dangled your kids, and that's it, So what about Harry? Well, he has nothing to do. He's bored rigid because the freedom flight that he thought has literally dried up. I mean, there's nothing for him to do. Now, he could, of course, still become a bag carrier, door opener for Markle, but even she, can't really do anything. And as she pointed out in that recent podcast, she misses grocery shopping. And she can't travel as easy as she could. Well, cast your mind back to when you went to Broadway, when you had 4x4s and insisted on telling everybody in advance that Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, was arriving. If you didn't do that, you could do what Madonna does and go and just see a play without any fuss. You create the attention, you get the attention. Don't be stupid, Meghan. We all see through you. It's a bit like this. You see, the true story about this particular headline is there is a bit of truth in it. And the truth is simply this, that Harry now has become so desperate that what he really wants to do is offer his services on a part-time or as-need basis. And what this really means is he's trying to utilise the fact and capitalise on the story that, if you remember what he said about his father, he didn't know how long he'd got left and he'd like to get connected. Well, the true story is that Harry thinks that he could step into events that perhaps, as of course the Princess Royal, Princess Anne pointed out, well, we don't want a slim down monarchy, we still need people, right? So Harry took that as a sort of open invitation to say, well, I could help, I could do things for you, it doesn't have to be like this, etc. That's the plan that he wants to try and get over on his visit next week. You see, the idea is to say, well, we're free, we're available. Well, they're not. She doesn't want any part of this. She wants Harry to go back into the royals because this gives her some leverage. You know, we're still connected with the family. I can utilise anything he tells me. And that's really the story behind the headline. William, as ever, is very much aware of it. But as he knows, and this is the bigger issue, this is why I feel sorry for Prince William, is the fact that, you know, while he can be steadfast and firm and everything, you know, the father is the father, and you can have those emotions attached. William can only say so much, and Harry knows that if he draws on the waterworks and the poor me story, will King Charles, you know, capitulate, give in, say yes? William can only hope that's a no. But Harry is a very persuasive person, and more importantly, he's not giving up without a fight. It's a developing story. When I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.